welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing our new die Reveal Wheel Fall Leaf add-on. This add-on works perfectly with our reveal wheel to change it into this awesome color-changing fall card. So let's go ahead and check it out. The die comes with both a window and a frame, and you'll see that that window is sized perfectly to fit into the reveal wheel die. So all you need to do is just drop that into the die and then run that whole thing through your cutting machine. And now there you'll see that we have a reveal wheel now with a fall leaf window. We can also cut the frame out, and as you can see, it cuts a little frame and a cute little leaf, and you can layer that frame over the window opening to help define it in your card. So now it's time to make a card with this, and right here we have some 12 by 12 nitpicky fall paper and some of the 6 by 6 as well. And we're going to be using the brand new square add-on for the reveal wheel that changes it into a square shape along with this new fall leaf window. So we've die cut that window opening and a little fall leaf frame, and we have the new Happy Fall line border as well. We're going to take that same square there and we're going to line it up with some more of that pink nitpicky paper and die cut that. We want the Happy Fall banner to kind of line up over the blue part and the pink part. So to do that, we're going to actually die cut the Happy Fall banner from the pink. And you'll see there that there's a little bit of the kind of ends of the P's and the Y's going into that little pink piece. We can then layer that pink piece onto the blue square reveal wheel. Then we can take our Happy Fall die cut, add a little glue to the back, and drop that right in so it fits right into the pink piece instead of laying on top. And I think it's a really cool look. It almost looks like a little puzzle. We're also going to layer that cute little fall leaf frame on top as well. From that original reveal wheel die, we've got our large wheel and our smaller wheel base, and we've die cut that from some sunflower cardstock. We've also cut a card base that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 out of some of the new craft cardstock. And we're also going to cut a base for the reveal wheel, cutting that square shape there but without the window opening, also out of some craft. Here we've got a little brad, and we're going to stick that brad through the smaller wheel base and then up through that main wheel there that's got those awesome embossed lines on it. We're going to open up those brad prongs to secure them both into place. We can then, on the back of the wheel, add some foam right around that brad and then peel up that little liner tape on the foam. Then we can go ahead and line that up on the back of the reveal wheel. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through that window opening there, and we're going to look for the embossed lines that the die created for us. As soon as we see the embossed line there on that right side, we're going to shift it in, and as soon as we see the embossed line in the wheel there, we're just going to shift it up until it's out of view. And that means that it's in complete perfect placement for our card. Then what we can do is take our whole thing and line it up onto our base. So we're just going to line those two up there, and that's going to position our wheel into perfect placement. And if you've never created a reveal wheel before, make sure to check out our intro to reveal wheel video. We'll make sure to link that below. We're going to do some stamping on this card. So we're going to trace lightly this little leaf shape there with a pencil, and that way we'll have a little guide for our stamping. So we're going to trace that little leaf, and then we're just going to turn it a half turn, and then we're going to trace another leaf shape there. And then we're going to do that a quarter turn and make sure that we have a leaf shape showing up at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. So there we've got our leaf. We'll turn it again, trace another leaf, and then one more time. Now that we have those pencil guides, we can pop our wheel off of the base and do some stamping. So here is the Thanks a Latte stamp set, which has some super cute smiley faces that fit perfectly into this leaf shape. So there you'll see we're going to stamp our little smiley faces, and we're going to have the style of the smiley face change as you move the reveal wheel. Now that everything's stamped, we can go ahead and erase those light pencil guidelines that we created, and then pop that wheel right back onto the base and close those little brad prongs. Then we're going to take some foam squares and layer those all around the wheel, making sure that they don't touch the wheel. And then now we can layer our window piece right on top. We're going to take out one of my old favorite stamp sets, and that is our Woodgrain Backdrops. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that onto that card base and also add a little inking with some tea dye distress ink. And I love that this takes the card base kind of up to a little extra level, creating our own custom wood grain pattern. And then we can take that fall leaf and just layer that right on top. Then for a little extra added touch, we went ahead and stamped a bunch of leaves from Thanks a Latte onto some pattern paper and die cut those and then layered them onto the card. And we also die cut the arrow from the original reveal wheel die so that the recipient is going to know how cool this interactive card is. And how cute is that with the little smiley faces changing in that fall leaf? It just makes me smile. Now that we've done a little smiley face changing one, I thought it would be fun to create a color changing one. So there we've got the original reveal wheel die, and we're die cutting that from some mermaid cardstock. And now we're going to drop in our awesome fall leaf window shape there, and then we'll run that through our die cut machine again with that same colored cardstock. Now, I thought it would be fun to use the windy backdrop since the leaves are going to be floating around on this card. So we're going to layer that windy backdrop right onto that die cut window piece, run that through our die cut machine, and there you'll see that we have that awesome windy detail. I also die cut one more blank one from a window so that we can layer those two on top of each other. And we'll be covering up that seam with some grass later on. Now it's time to start setting our reveal wheel. So I'm going to cut our main wheel and also our smaller wheel base out of some white cardstock. We're going to take a small brad and we're going to put that through our smaller wheel base and then up through our main wheel as well. And then we're going to open those prongs, securing those both into place. Once we have that secure, we can turn the wheel over and add some foam squares surrounding the brad on the back. Then I'll go ahead and remove that liner paper there so that those are ready to adhere onto my card base. Now that I've got my little wheel, I'm going to use those emboss lines as a guide. So there you can see those emboss lines. A little hard to see on the video, but very easy to see in person. And you're going to look through that window, and when you see that emboss line, you're going to shift it up until you can't see it anymore. And then when you see that emboss line there on the right into the notch, you're going to shift that in until you can't see it anymore. Now we know that that wheel is in perfect placement, so we can go ahead and line it up with our base and attach that on there. As you'll see, I have my base upside down, and that's because instead of having the notch be completely out, I want that turquoise cardstock to show with that little stitching detail. So it's just a fun way to add a little different look to your reveal wheel. Now I'm going to pop my wheel off and I need to create this color change. In this case, I'm going to do it with some of the new sparkle cardstock, but I think this would be really cool with distress ink or maybe some really awesome watercolor to have the leaves go from green, orange, red, and then into brown, which I think is really awesome. So I'm going to take these wheels and I'm going to quarter them in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to do that for all of the colors. So the cool thing is I'll be able to make 4 reveal wheels out of these glitter pieces, so I'll save all my extra pieces for some later cards. Now all I have to do is just layer those glitter pieces onto the wheel. And this is a really great way to create a color changing wheel. You could do this with pattern paper or colored cardstock. It's super quick and easy and it looks really, really cool. So now I can take that wheel and just pop it right back onto my card base. And then I'm going to surround the whole thing there with some foam squares, making sure that it doesn't touch the wheel. And so I'm just going to layer that right onto my base. Now here I've got the Leafy tree backdrop, and I'm going to die cut that from some chocolate bar cardstock, and I'm just going to cut that tree right out of that frame because I just want the tree by itself. Then we're going to go ahead and add some adhesive to that tree and layer that right onto the card. I'm going to take that original reveal wheel die and die cut some cilantro cardstock, and then I'm going to be using 2 Grassy border dies. I'm using my simple Grassy Hillsides and also my original straight Grassy border, and so I'm going to die cut a taller hill there out of the rounded grass and then a shorter hill out of the straight grass. Then here I've got the pumpkin and squirrel from Pick of the Patch, and one of my favorite things about this set is that you can fit the little squirrel inside of the pumpkin and then give him the little pumpkin lid as a hat, and it's just so cute. Here I have the phrase Happy Fall that comes from our Forest Feast stamp set. I'm stamping that in some clear embossing ink and adding some white heat embossing powder, and I'm just going to heat that up with my heat tool to give it this nice bright white and happy sentiment. Here I've got some stamp sets, Jump for Joy, Forest Feast, and Pick of the Patch, and I went ahead and stamped a bunch of the images from this. That big fall leaf there is from Jump for Joy, and so I'm layering those all behind the grass so it looks like a bunch of fall leaves have fallen down into the grass. Then I can layer my other grass piece on top of that. And then I'm going to take a bunch of little leaves and put them in the tree and then falling all over the card so it looks like all those leaves have been falling down into those piles. I'm also going to layer some more leaves kind of behind, making it look like one big continuous pile of leaves. I also have that little rake from Jump for Joy too, which is so cute. I die cut the fall leaf frames from some of the dark brown glitter cardstock, and we're going to layer that right onto our glitter window. And then I'm going to add that cute little squirrel there in his pumpkin with some foam adhesive, and then just give him some more fall leaves. Next up, we're going to die cut some paper from the Nitpicky collection with the largest stitched rectangle. And then we're going to layer that onto a standard size card base. And today we're recreating a gorgeous card by Megan. So thank you so much, Megan, for letting us recreate your card today. Once that is all layered, we can then take our entire reveal wheel piece. I'm just going to add a bunch of adhesive to the back of that, and we can layer that onto our card base. And then the last step is to just take the little arrow die that comes in the reveal wheel. I'm die cutting that out of some of the dark brown glitter cardstock. And then I'm just going to add one more fall leaf for good measure, and my card is all done. And how cool is that with the leaf changing colors and with all of that fun sparkly glitter? I just love it so much. It makes me smile. So next up, we have some awesome cards from the design team to show you. First up, we have a beautiful card by Melissa where she also used the glitter paper to create the color change in her fall leaf, and I love how she stamped those gold embossed leaves and created her own pattern paper. This card by Kay is so gorgeous. I love that awesome watercolor splatter and the fun changing leaves out of pattern paper. I love how Shari created a really cool background with alcohol inks for this card. And then this card by Lynette is so sweet. I love how she added those branches to the top of the scene. And then this is the card by Megan that inspired us to make our card today. So I cannot wait to see what you guys do with the Reveal Wheel Fall Leaf add-on, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!